big name. That's two big names, but then not by letter count. So what the hell, you know? But I know what you're talking about. P&G, baby, P&G.
Yep.
Not as big as SoundBroker thinking out loud with friends, I don't believe. I think we're a little bit bigger. I think we got them beat by, oh, I don't know. No, I guess we don't. But
Yeah.
hey, one
Okay.
thing I will tell you, difference between Procter and Gamble and we is that everything you hear from us today is an opinion. Do your own research. And welcome to our 273rd meeting, which is amazing in any scope of the amazing word. So basically, hey, by the way, could you guys see on my left-hand side, next to the picture of me playing guitar, could you make out what that says?
It's a clock, isn't it?
Mm,
No, I can't.
my
I
right-hand
gotta.
side, then. It
I'm
says here,
here to make a difference.
yes, that's correct. Let me read it to you. I'm not here just to make a living. I am here to make a difference. And who I am, in the blue it says, and who I am makes a difference. And I have had that ever since I started in my career, um, many years ago. And I've lived by that slogan. I've lived by that slogan for so many years. And it's true. Anyway, there you go. And the other slogan I live by, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, by the you see the figure, the figure that looks like a woman holding a bow and arrow.
Yep.
Um, that I think it's called Irena, and that's a city in Brazil. I'm trying to remember the name of the city right now. I'm getting mental block. But behind it, you see the pillow, and it is embroidered. It's really nicely embroidered, and this expression came from my days at RSO Records when I went to visit Robert Stigwood in his office, but he wasn't there. And this his office was just as, you know, ostentatious as possible. You could tell that the man who was sitting behind that desk was a powerful man. All beautiful mahogany wood. It was just amazing. He had Thomas Jefferson's writing desk in his office. Very, very impressive. And then behind his desk, he had this doily that I thought his grandmother had made. And I thought, isn't that nice? Here's such a powerful man, and he's got a doily framed that his grandmother made for him. And so I went over and read it. And once I read it, I said, what a man. And then I never forgot it. And then I had one made for myself. And what it says is, when you got them by the balls, their hearts and minds will follow.
Yeah.
Grandma.
My grandmother
Grandma,
made that same one.
yeah. My grandmother made the same one. You know, there you go. As you could see it. There you have it. You know. I'll show it to you one more time, and there we have. There it is.
How do you
So,
translate that into Thai?
Yeah.
yeah, I could have it turned into Thai. So, what's
I
going on
have
with
a
everybody? So, it's good to have you all
wait.
here in this blistering heat. Is anybody being affected by the hurricanes that are coming up? Brian, you're there.
It's they've evacuated Dare County and the Outer Banks, but it's riptide currents is what they're worried about and coastline. So
Hmm.
you swim at your own peril. They're not going to rescue you.
Yeah, I heard they actually closed the beaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they
They
closed
even
the
closed
beaches, but they
beaches.
still have people going out there, and they're saying, you do it. We're not sending the lifeguards out. We're not sending
Yeah.
the coast
Daytona
out.
Beach was closed earlier today, but now they opened it back. They're opening it tomorrow because the storm's passed already. But you know, it's it's a huge storm. They showed a picture on the news. It was taken from the International Space Station, you know, and how massive that storm is. It's
Well,
like,
the outer bank or the outer bands are going to touch both Bermuda and the Outer Banks at the same time.
right, right.
That gives you a perspective.
There was it 700 miles wide or something like that.
Well,
Yeah,
that's an island. The outer band is the outer bank is the island, right?
Right.
That's right. That's right. See, I know something. I know a little bit of something. You know, It's
Yep.
funny, I wonder if you can get this. I told it before, right now, after I leave here, I'm all packed up. The house is all packed up, ready to go. And we are headed for Thailand right after we leave here. I mean, right after I say goodbye to you guys. Actually, I got to run to the hardware store to buy a new air filter. As I was telling you, when you buy cheap, you have cheap. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. When you buy cheap, you have cheap. So, seeing I was selling the house and the house was in escrow, I said, why do I got to go buy the nice 3M air filter systems for the air conditioner? These cheap little nothings that I bought at Five Below will be perfect for the house. All it's got to do is last until I leave. And anyway, wrong answer. And now I am running to one of the hardware stores, whether it be Lowe's or Home Depot, to buy the better filters so that they work.
Make sure you get your dimensions
Ah.
right.
This is an interesting thing for all you engineers out there. So, most air conditioners, their vents are 20 by 40, and yet none of the companies make 20 by 40 filters. Not one.
I
Brian, what do you think about that? They just make 20 by 20s or 20 by 30.
I think that goes into the same category as 8 hot dogs and 6 buns. Or
Well,
six-
I have a 12 by mine's 12 by 20.
So
That's right.
it's based off of airflow calculation, but there was a time period where companies were doing theirs so that they could only sell them internally. You had to buy it from their own source. So that may be part of what it is, Jan. Was self-sourcing. So you had to buy the more expensive thing.
So anyway, I'm running around, and I was talking to somebody, and they say, "Well, how you doing?" And I says, "I feel like I'm busier than a beaver missing his two front teeth and a broken tail building a dam." That's how I felt, right? But then I realized and I had an epiphany how I really feel. And if you know me, you'll understand when I say I come from the heart. I feel like a male praying. I feel right now. I feel like a male praying mantis just before he's about to have sex. That's how I feel.
It's all good till post coitus.
You know what they say? If you got to explain a joke, it ain't funny. Fuck. Okay.
It should always be the guy having, the spider having sex with a black widow.
So I have a funny story about a powerful executive and his office, if anybody cares to hear it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I used to work with a guy. We did home theater installs and cable distribution and, satellite and stuff like that. And one of our clients for a while was a guy, Fred. I can't remember Fred's last name, but Fred was the CEO of Ticketmaster, and this would have been in the late 80s, I think. And so at that time, Ticketmaster, their offices were on a building on Wilshire Boulevard, and they had half of the 6th floor. And he had this magnificent office with his desk and file cabinets behind his desk, and then a whole meeting room and a living room, and took up the whole backside of the building. And then down on his right was the door to his secretary's office. So she was around the corner, so he could talk to her without moving, but she couldn't see him unless she came in or he went out there. So they were expanding. So they were taking over the entire 7th floor. So he told the construction guy, I said, I want you to recreate my office identically on the 7th floor as what I have on the 6th floor. And all the cabinets, are cherry wood and all this stuff. So they're rebuilding it on the 7th floor, and they get certain ways into this when somebody realizes that the secretary's door on the right side is a foot closer to his desk than the old one. And all the file cabinets behind him were commensurately a bit less deep than the ones at the prior office. And he made them tear out the whole fucking mess and redo it at their expense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's why this quote comes to mind. Light travels faster than sound. That's why some people appear to be bright until you hear them speak. You know?
That's pretty good.
But he was a good guy. We went over to his house in Beverly Hills one time and put in they used to make when picture in picture was kind of becoming a thing. And, picture in picture was good for sports. That's about all it was really good for, And so there was a company that made a box called a Rabbit, and the Rabbit would take and put picture in picture on your television as an external box, right? Because back then everybody had big Sony and Mitsubishi TVs and all that kind of junk. So we went over to his house on a Saturday one time and put in this Rabbit because he had, I don't know, tennis and football or something that he wanted to have both of those things up. And the nice thing about it is doing that work for him. He gave us free tickets to the Rolling Stones in '89
Wow.
at the Coliseum.
Oh, very, very
and
nice.
Then I was able to leverage that to buy tickets for ZZ Top on the Eliminator tour, and we got like 8th row, center floor for face value from him. So that was pretty cool.
It's interesting, that guy that you were talking about. Well, I forgot the name of the company that you said he was with. Ticketmaster, right?
Ticketmaster. Yeah,
I
Fred
mean,
Rosen
basically,
was his name.
today, no need for filing cabinets. I mean, no need for filing cabinet. Everything is digital. Everything is digital now. So if he built that office again today, he'd have plenty of space. He wouldn't have to worry.
Well, he had plenty of space anyways. It was a pretty big. It was a pretty big room.
Did you hear this now? The Bloomberg just did a study through the University of Virginia, and basically they have found now 50 to 60% of consumers now rely on AI for their shopping decisions, and 46% trust it more than friends. Okay, I mean, is that not insane that you would rather go to Chat GPT or Perplexity rather than trust your friends on what to buy?
How can 60% of the people use AI? I doubt that 60% of the people know what they're doing.
It's just part of Google now. When you do a Google search, you typically get an AI summary at the top, and then you can click that and go into AI mode. And
Yeah, all the search
Now it's
engines are
automatic.
AI.
Now it's automatic. Today it was automatic. I didn't even have to type at Google or whatever. I didn't have to type any. It just went automatically into a Gemini search.
And if you want, you can
Interesting.
just say Google.
Uh-oh. Christopher
Uh-oh, was that him or was that me? Or my is
Yeah.
my earring going?
Christopher overloaded the internet.
Oh
horrible
man,
thing.
See, Google heard he was thought that he was gonna say something bad about him, and so therefore they throttled him.
Well, did you hear about the FBI now issuing a warning to all smartphone users that the dangerous new scam could be at your door? Let me read this to you guys so I get it right. The Federal Bureau of Investigation. Did I say Federal Bureau? Like
Yes,
a
you
mule?
did.
Like a
did.
mule? A mule, that's it. The Federal
That's
Bureau of
appropriate.
Investigation issued a warning this week about a new type of brushing scam. And this happened to me. This actually happened to me. In a traditional brushing scam, online vendors send merchandise to an unsolicited recipient and then use the recipient's information to post a positive review. That happened to me a couple of weeks ago when I got the toilet paper, that really cheap toilet paper. But it seems now that they're doing more now that you're getting a code, and if you scan that code, they take over your phone. So be really, really careful. If you get some toilet paper, wherever, or something really cheap in the mail, just don't even use it. Give it away to charity, and do not scan anything. Don't use their QR code that came with it. Hey, Ken Porter, what's going on there in Nashville?
Hot.
Well, that's good. Those one-word answers will get you far on the internet.
Yeah. I was just trying to come home. I hadn't eaten yet today, so I'm trying to eat at the same time.
Well,
What's
all I
for
could say to
dinner
you, if it
today?
wasn't,
I went by and saw the new where they got into on Rock Nashville in the new sound check setup, and Claire's pretty close to they're moving in the first week of October into their building, and then Soundcheck will move in the first part of November, but they've got most of the rooms done as far as getting close to got them up and drywalled and painted, and they're getting ready to put in all the probably the end of next month will end up being all the lockers, modular lockers going in, but they're getting everything else up and going.
Well, that's kind of interesting.
Wow.
Hey, I got a question for you guys, and I don't know if this is happening to you, but it seems to be happening to me in every walk of life now. And people are saying to me, I want to do this. I want to buy this. I'd like to buy this. Send me an invoice. And I get them all the information, and we discuss it, and then we send them the invoice, and then they disappear, completely disappear. Just basically the silent treatment, complete silent treatment. They ghost me. And not only is it happening in business, but it also happened with my house. This woman, we go into escrow, and then she changes her mind once she does the home inspection. Is it happening to me? Is it just me, or is it happening to everybody?
What was in the home inspection? Is that the way out of it that she had?
No, the home inspection in my house is clean as a whistle. I mean, there was 100 pages, but that's how they protect themselves. But the reality is there was this. They do the report red, yellow, green, and white. And the red is the ones that you really got to deal with. There was only 4 things in the red. One of them was that the thermostat of the water heater was set too high, and the water in the kitchen sink was too hot. So rather than him saying, the easy thing to do is all you got to do is lower the thermostat, that's what he said. But that's a no-brainer in that respect. That was it. He said that there was no GFI in the kitchen, but that's not true. There is a GFI in the kitchen. And so that was another thing but anyway, it was all minor stuff. There was nothing like, the roof has a big hole in it, and, or you're built on an earthquake zone and the ground is missing in the living room. It was nothing like that. It was all minor bullshit. The towel rack was loose, all stuff like that. Nothing major. And basically it was mostly advice.
It
But
just
that's
sounds
not what
like
I'm talking about.
sounds like an excuse.
Well, it turns out that this was the third house that she put an offer in, went into home inspection, and then the second the home inspection came in, she didn't even wait to say, will you fix it or anything. They just said, hey, we want out. And when my agent called her agent said this is the third house she did it to. Third house. So
Yeah, it sounds more like a personal issue than a real
she's
issue.
a serial disappointment to everybody.
Like Cheerios.
Yeah.
Well, there's I was saying before we went on, there's something happening here in Florida where actually the authorities went after this group of people to where they would go out, and when houses in a particular area would go on the market, they'd immediately go and, you got in Florida, you have 14 days when you go into contract, but you have 14 days before you can get out of it. Well, what happened was they had an organized group of people in specific markets, and they would put all these houses into the 14-day waiting period escrow, and they were associated with a company trying to sell property in that same market area. So their price, they could raise their prices because there's less there's less available housing. And so they've been doing it for quite some time on quite a large scale. And they ended up
That's price fixing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what,
Well, that's
states and the
manipulating
feds
the market.
need to,
That's got
they
to
need
be
to,
against the law.
Yeah. Well, states and the feds need to start passing laws against these investment funds and these gigantic corporations
Yeah,
buying up houses. Out here in Arizona, we have all of these developments going in that are these tiny houses, that have no yards to speak of, barely any, and they are for rent only. And they do it. One of the reasons they do it here in Arizona is because of the water issues. If you're doing rentals, you're not subject to the same rules about proving that you have groundwater for 100 years
right.
that homes for sale are subject to, and also just buying up the market and trying to turn people into renters. And it's a huge problem across the country, and starting to finally get some notice and attention that this is not a very good
Oh
thing.
yeah, I forget. There was a statistic somewhere about how many, what the percent of transaction was that BlackRock was behind in terms
It's like
of individual home purchases. It was
30 to
staggeringly large.
40%.
It was
Wasn't it?
huge.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to corner the market. But you
Well,
know what?
Well,
that
that
happened here after last year we had Hurricane Milton here in Pinellas County, Florida, and there were significant portions of Pinellas County that flooded these houses. That were they flooded up like 4 foot maybe in the house, and a lot of the people, even after all the federal, whatever, there if your house, if the damage to your house was more than 40%, you had to go ahead and raise the house to current codes, which basically raising the house above flood levels. Well, a large portion of people just gave up, sold their house as is, and left the county. Some of them left. A lot of them left the state, and these investment companies came in and swoop, bought them all up. They were
Wow,
just
insane.
Yeah.
But people do that all over the place. I mean, for me, people will list stuff on SoundBroker, right? More than they know that it's worth. More than they know what it's worth, for sure. And then when people
that's okay.
when they call other people up to say, "Hey, are you interested in buying something like that?" And then they'll say, "Well, what do you got?" And they'll say, "Well, I got this and that and blah blah blah." And then they'll say to them, "Well, what do you want for it?" And they'll give them a figure, like let's just say they have it listed on SoundBroker for 20,000, and then the guy will say, "Well, I'll sell it to you for 15." It's 15, that's a lot of money. And then he'll say, "Well, on SoundBroker, it's on 20. It's 20,000 on SoundBroker. I'm saving you $5,000."
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got an angle. It ties into the whole, what happened in Maui and what Chris is going through on the Palisades.
Be careful, Wayne. You got somebody behind you sneaking up on you. Be very careful. Somebody's sneaking up on you, Wayne.
She only means to hit me in the head with a.
This could be a
heavy
viral
object.
moment. This could be a viral moment, just like that restaurant scene that just took place.
Yeah.
By the way, I am convinced. There you go. There you go. Drive the car through the wall. That's it. Boom. But I swear, I think that and again, this is an opinion show, but have you seen that video of the people eating the dinner and the car goes through the wall and they get away not hurt?
Oh, yeah.
How is it possible that the camera didn't get tipped over?
Yeah.
I think it was a setup.
No, the camera was, they were influencers. They were in a restaurant.
I got it. I understand that. But where was the camera that it didn't get affected by them jumping up, moving the table out of the way, and running for their lives? Where was that camera?
we're waiting for the follow-up story of what happened to the driver of the vehicle.
What she said was that, and she said she thought she had it in park.
Yeah, but that was more than a rolling hit.
Yeah.
Gas pedal hit.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. I mean, hey, the other day I saw a picture of Paul McCartney sitting by Phil Collins' bed playing
Yeah.
guitar. And I thought it was legit because I knew that Phil Collins was in the hospital, but I thought, because I know he's been sick and he can't perform anymore, but I thought he was on his deathbed. It turns out that he was just there for a knee operation, and the AI, people were using AI to make it sound like all these people were coming and saying, giving him his last rites. But it turns out that was complete bogus. And if I can get fooled, anyone can be fooled. I mean, really.
I mean, yeah, somebody fooled you with your air filters.
Well, no, I fooled myself with that.
So along that same subject line, did you hear about the animal clinic in Wilmington Beach, North Carolina yesterday? Guy made a wrong turn. They said he was under influence afterwards, snapped the gas line and blew the animal clinic up.
Oh, I saw that. I saw the picture of that. I didn't know the full extent of what happened.
But there was three
Was it an
firemen
animal
that were
clinic? I thought
injured.
it was a car dealership.
He thought he was pulling into a car dealership, missed the turn, snapped the natural gas line. Fire department was in the building trying to evacuate it when it blew up.
Unbelievable. Now, were
And then
they
he
doing a
ran,
video?
too, right?
Were they doing a video of the animals grazing at the time for social
No,
media?
so they were finishing construction, so they hadn't moved in at the moment. But the video was taken from a car dealer. The car dealership that he was turning in was their security cameras where the video was from.
Mm-hmm. Brian,
So
I'm just curious.
In that incident and the restaurant incident, I just have a question regarding all this. Is the skinny pedal on the right not the brake?
Yeah.
I need some clarification on this.
What's the third pedal for?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your clutch, babe. That's your clutch.
There's no cars with three pedals anymore. Come on.
I still drive one.
Yeah.
By the way, was Ken Porter still around? Or did he leave? He left.
No,
Oh no, he's
he's
still
here.
here.
I'm
He's
here.
still here. He's just So you heard that they extended the contract with Formula One. Now the Grand Prix, it's extended through 2027. And
Wait a minute,
anyway,
Las Vegas?
yep, extended through 2027.
I thought it had a 10-year run on it when they when they did the deal and built all that property.
Well, I don't know. You can't believe everything you read, but I did read this in the RJ.
Oh, well, another
So-
one coming back to real estate. The other thing that's been happening around here has been agents. There's been a lack of product to sell, and agents have been going out telling people, pumping them up of, your house is worth like $700,000, $800,000 instead of a $500,000 house, and they're listening and running there trying to pump listings and try and get people going on stuff. Promised them a whole bunch of money, and that's what's kind of making things slow down a little too, of making a deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, and I don't understand it because with the way things are going right now, it shouldn't be. But alcohol consumption in the United States just hit a 90-year low. I mean, I would think it's time to start drinking.
You say that as you're leaving the country.
That's right. That's right. But before I leave the country, last week we had a little teaser, about speaking of leaving the country and being stuck in Lebanon without a port. I wonder if you feel like talking about that. What happened?
Oh boy, yeah. I'm not going to name the artist because she's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Although I will just let that be. But yeah, every year. This was it was 1974, and during that time, Beirut was nice. I mean, it was a nice place to go to, and so every year they had a concert on the beaches there that was sponsored by, I think it was I forget the hotel chain that sponsored it. So I was with the sound company at the time, IES, and this artist came. There was like 12 bands playing, but this female artist who's quite big at the time was the headliner, and she had probably an 8-piece band with all their equipment. So we were there with a lorry full of an outdoor sound system, and this was 74, so it was all JBL 4550s, 4560s, horns, etc. So everything was going great. The show was going well. During while all the support bands were on, evidently there was an issue between the promoter and the artist about payment. So
now that's unusual.
yes. So what happened was, she evidently, the promoter left to go back to the show, and we were there doing our thing, and her and her manager turned around and went to the airport and left the country. And so here comes the headliner. Everything's going on. The support band's there, the crew's there. There was 4 of us on the crew, 2 sound guys, 2 lighting guys, and then the support band had all their had about 3 guys on that crew. Well, they didn't show up, and everybody was demanding their money back from this promoter. And so, I mean, it was a damn near riot. So finally, the promoter had all his security people come and grab everybody who works for the show, marched us all back to the hotel, took all of our passports, and locked us in we were locked in our rooms in the hotel. And we basically stayed there for 7 days while he sold every piece of gear.
Now, were you locked in the room without food or water?
No, they came and they gave us food. We have water in the room, but he knew the hotel owner.
Now, in those days, sex was very popular.
Yeah. Well,
were you denied?
We weren't allowed to leave our hotel rooms, put it that way.
Greg, there was a show on TV. It's called Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Seinfeld, one of my favorite episodes, is where they abbreviate a story by saying, "Well, I was out late. I saw my boyfriend, and yada yada yada. Well, here I am now." So I would think that yada yada yada. Well, you're here now. Good story.
Yeah, I'm flying out to Durango, Colorado tomorrow morning, and I got to get up at 3:30. So,
hey, we'll see you in the air. I will be passing as soon as we hang up from this show.
We will be ships passing in the wind.
That's it. And just remember one thing, and I really feel sorry for you and those people like, for example, David Dansky, who still use AOL, because now you don't have the mail department. Last week, AOL decided that they're going to discontinue dial-up access.
Oh yeah, it's
ruined my life.
It's done. Yeah, you can't dial in on your 9600 baud modem anymore.
I don't even know anybody that's got a modem like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I have one in my Apple IIe that's in a box in the next room.
When I was learning computers, we had an acoustic coupler, 300 baud.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I used to dream about having 300 baud. That's it.
So, yeah, I thought.
All right, guys. Have a great week.
Travel safely.
Yeah, I used to dream about it. I remember when I was in Islamabad, we would do anything for 300 baht, but no, That's all. It
So
was,
to
And I
end
thought
the
when people
story,
called me a 10, I was happy.
That's funny. That's
so at any
funny.
rate, to end the story, after 2 weeks,
Oh, there's more?
yeah, after 2 weeks, we after 2 weeks we were finally allowed to call our company, and David Hartstone had to pay for tickets for all of us to fly back from Beirut to London. So,
Hmm. Well, I'm glad to have you back.
and no, I mean, they sold the truck that the gear was coming in. They sold everything. These guys
Hmm.
were, yeah.
Work for him again?
Pardon?
Do you ever work for him again?
Oh, I worked for Hearthstone. Yeah, yeah.
No,
I worked for
was
IES.
promoted?
Oh no, we never went. They never went back to the country. Nobody went back to Beirut. You know,
Right.
Yeah,
no
what
major
Beirut
company.
back then, wasn't it like it was like Cuba in the 50s, right? It was
Yeah,
like
yeah, it was
like a
great.
resort.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I mean, food was amazing. You know, and it was an absolute wonderful country. You know, this is way before things got crazy. You know, they got crazy in the 80s there. So so yeah, yeah. But to this day, I won't listen to any one of her songs. So if it's on the radio, I don't care. Somebody's playing it, I'd say, turn off the radio. I need to talk to you about something. You know?
Yeah. So what's
Well,
going
that's
on with Taylor
interesting. Well,
Swift?
hang on before we find out about Taylor Swift, Greg. I have a question. In the way you describe the circumstances, it sounds like this is a promoter problem, not an artist problem.
Well, the artist wouldn't bail us out and send us back. You know.
Oh, could they?
Well, basically, she took her money and ran.
Oh, she got paid
She
and
got
ran.
paid.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought she didn't get paid.
No,
and
no,
walked.
she got paid and ran.
Oh, in that case, you're
She
correct.
may have not got all the money that she wanted. I don't know. There was
Well, she
never
comes from the
ever
James
explained.
Brown school of getting paid before you play, or Chuck Berry,
Yeah, Chuck Berry. Yeah, give me
James
my
Brown
money
too.
in cash.
James Brown. I have a great story about James Brown. How he told me, "Look, if I don't go on the stage in a few minutes, you've already paid me. I'm leaving." So, but I'll
Yeah.
tell you that story at another time.
The Isley Brothers also were like that. And the
Yep.
band, everybody got paid after the show in
Yep.
cash every night.
Yeah.
There were a lot of bands like that, actually. Yeah, in the early. I mean, Tower of Power was like that. And yep, Hank McConaughey had to pay them in cash. So,
Yep. Well, there's, as they say, in God we trust. All others pay cash.
yeah. I tell you what, though, in those old Agora days, we had. Did you ever see Chick, Prince's big bodyguard, a really huge
Oh yeah,
man
yeah, yeah,
mountain?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chick. Well, Chick used to work at the Columbus Agora, and so if a promoter, if a band manager was giving us grief or anything like that, and trying to shake down the club, Chick would walk in during counting, and all arguments were solved right then. Just
Absolutely. I wouldn't argue with that man. That's it,
yeah,
It was one big guy.
yeah. But he is a heart of gold, though. That guy,
Yep. Yep.
heart of gold.
I worked for a sound company. We did Redbone one time, and the head roadie for Redbone was this gigantic dude that looked exactly like Mr. Clean.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name. I think I saw an article about him at some other point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. Just the other day I saw. Y'all remember the band Black Oak, Arkansas?
Sure.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's a long time
yeah.
ago.
Yeah, there was an article there, and whatever happened to Black Oak, Arkansas?
And what's the answer?
Well, they're still alive, but they're not playing. Jim Magruder, I think that was Jim Dandy, but his name is Jim Magruder. It was an article with between those two, him and Elliot, the guitar player, Elliot. they in 1990 they just said that's it. Everybody, he said, all these bands we used to play with, some of them opened for us and we opened for them. They went on to make all their money and they just left us. So they bought this huge, they still have it, this huge farm in Arkansas. And they're there. You know?
Marshall
Well,
Tucker, right? Marshall Tucker Band, Leonard Skinner, the Allman Brothers, Black Oak, Arkansas, and about one or two others. Those are the hardcore Southern rock.
Yeah,
It-
yeah, that's
isn't-
right. I
isn't-
mean, Black
Charlie
Oak,
Daniels-
Arkansas used to work open 75, 76. They opened for Aerosmith all the time, you know. And it was Dim Dandy to the
oh, damn
rescue.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
Isn't he
remember the
David
guy's
Lee
name.
Roth's
The
dad?
devil went down to Georgia. The Vittle guy. What's his
Uh,
name?
Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniel. Wasn't he from there too?
Yeah, but he wasn't a band as much.
Yeah, he was just a
Pretty country, more
Yeah.
than he was Southern rock.
He had a great band though. I did monitors for Charlie Daniels one time, and they were good.
and he's a good guy though too.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a good guy.
Yeah.
They were very, very nice. And it was weird. I did it in this big country nightclub in San Dimas, California. And it was one of these things where the stage was like basically a hole cut into the wall.
Yeah.
So there's the band and there's me
Yeah.
because there's no place to hide. There's no wing.
Hmm.
So
I dated a girl from San Dimas once. She was amazing in bed. I mean, well. Anyway, we're moving on. All right.
in the 70s, Charlie Daniels ended up with the promoter Sound 70, Lon Vernell. Oh, sorry, Lon Vernell had promoted and he started Sound 70 with Charlie Daniels in the 70s and did all that. And Lon was hysterical because he was a little old guy and he started out being Lawrence Welk's manager and booking agent.
Wow.
And then he
Wow.
started promoting and stuff there, and he's in the promoting business. But it was hysterical times. But that was a weird pit. Then they start the they used to do in winter. It was the volunteer jam every year and had every band annual
Oh, right.
Southern Rockers
Yeah.
for like 6 hours a night. So he was around, did a lot of good stuff, and he's from Mount Juliet. He lived in Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
Oh wow.
And did you know that there is only one other Mount Juliet, Tennessee in the world?
And where is that?
Mount Juliet is in Ireland. There's a Mount Juliet, Ireland.
Well, there you go. Now we learned something. Today we're learning a lot. Everybody's getting new ripples on their brain. That's it.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot. I want to throw in
Charl-
something right now as well, that fresh fruits and vegetables, seeing we're talking about farms. I always thought that fresh fruits and vegetables were much healthier than frozen, but it turns out that fresh fruits and frozen vegetables could have very similar nutritious values. Go figure. If it's fresh, flash frozen, it actually holds in their nutrients. So there you have it. Nutrients. That's it.
Yeah.
Nutrients.
easy
Nutrients.
for you to say.
That's the new scientific term, right?
Nutrients. Yes, nutrients. Yes, I can.
That's,
I couldn't.
that's his Bangkok accent.
Yes, yes.
Well,
By the
fresh
way-
fruit in Thailand is just amazing. It's-
Oh my God. Almost as good as Tahiti. Tahiti was the best fruits I've ever eaten in my life. They are the sweetest. Oh my God, are they sweet? But I'll tell you, the cherries from Rainier, Washington, they're pretty amazing too. This cherry
yeah.
season here, If you haven't had any, they are good, 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 good.
So, how many sales have you had on that new ringtone you put up?
What do you mean?
Oh no, never mind. You just
Oh.
shocked me with that short that you created. That's all.
Oh yeah! Wow! 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 Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! That was great. I loved it. I loved it. You're a hero. You're a star.
No,
Wow!
put
Wow!
them
Wow!
out. You should just put it up. If you were looking into GoFundMe or Reddit, you just
Yes,
start selling
GoFundMe.
ringtones.
Basically, I'm thinking, hey, it's time to go to the GoFundMe. GoFundMe. I want to give a shout out if Dirk Schubert is listening. I want to give him a shout out. And I haven't spoken to him in a while, but I've been following him on Facebook, and he's making all sorts of comments, really positive comments on what we're doing. He's got a great sense of humor, and the reason I bring it up is because I want to share this with you. Because when somebody asks him what he does for a living, he says, I amplify the healing power of music. And I loved it. And I want to give him some credit for that because I've stolen it now and I'm making it mine.
It's the highest form of flattery.
Yep. Amplify the healing power of music. That's what you guys do. So there you have it. Let's see what else. So they
So
found
what was the deal with Taylor Swift? You started on Taylor Swift and we cut you off 3 times.
Yeah.
Man, she's got a new record coming out, 12 tracks. She's gonna, she's doing some show coming up. I mean, that woman is amazing. I mean, I don't know any other artist that could do what she does and the way she does it right now. I mean, buying back her whole catalog and then going into the studio and redoing all of them, all the songs. That's
But
something else.
What's interesting about what I thought was interesting about this is during that massive tour that she did while she was in Europe, she would fly to Sweden and record this album. So that was during the middle of her European tour that she did all that, which I thought, that's dedication to your craft.
Well, Jen, you know well how Prince did the same thing with his symbol, so that the record company wasn't making that money because he wasn't playing under Prince. He was playing under that symbol.
That's absolutely correct. He didn't want anything, and on the spine of the records, they have to have a number and the name of the record in those days, and that's why he did that because he didn't want them to. That's why he went to the symbol. He took off the symbol for a while and just said the unknown artist what was it? It wasn't the unknown artist. It was the artist formerly known as Prince.
Right.
Yeah, there are hits. Going back to this Taylor Swift thing, there's all sorts of hints that their fans are just insane. Taylor Swift fans are just amazingly crafty, and so they're saying that she may play the Super Bowl this year. That's what they're saying. That's the rumor that they're.
That's a great thing for her to do. I mean, it
Yeah.
seems like it would be perfect. It would be perfect for the NFL, and it would be perfect for her.
Yeah, and
you
that's
can't get a bigger artist.
We didn't have viewers a week ago today. There were, we were live on YouTube and on Facebook, and she had 1.7 million people live on YouTube and Facebook. So she stole our audience.
Yeah. I mean, most people should have been watching Thinking Out Loud with Friends of SoundBroker.
Yeah.
Instead, what the hell?
Greg, that's why I won't listen to her music because, it's like Beirut all over again.
Yeah.
She's taking our shit.
Taking my passport, baby. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Hey, listen, that was my first time in the Middle East. And this shit happens, and you get my passport taken. And you bet damn sure I didn't tell my parents about that,
Oh, yeah.
How was Beirut? Oh, lovely.
Yeah. I've only been once, and that in 2017, I went to Jordan, but we were doing an event for the Princess of Jordan. So we had,
you had some good
security. Security was not our problem. In fact, I was thinking when we used to go into this little convention center to go to work, it was the Jordanian military that was doing the screenings. And I was thinking, man, these guys are really good. And they were friendly. And I thought they should replace the TSA. But...
Yeah.
Yep. I once
I love
did a show for the Nip and Tip of Boffingdale. That's it,
Yeah, they had a Chevy Dually at the top of the driveway with a 50 cal in the back of it. It's pretty awesome.
Try rushing the stage there. I ain't gonna happen.
So what's going on? Is everybody busy? Ken, how are you doing with tours? Are they just flowing out the door?
My payroll was a mess because they had so many people out and they had so many contracted in. So, yeah, there's a lot going on.
Right.
Well,
And
that's
Brian,
good.
what's happening over there in North Carolina?
Got over a little bit of a summer lull. We're starting back up with fall, so we're getting ready to go.
What's the busiest time of your year out there?
For me, it's Halloween through January 1.
So-
but that's clients that I work.
Hey,
So
I got another story. I saw a story, Brian, thinking of, did you see the story where Jim Bramer and someone else there is trying to put an amphitheater in, oh, shoot,
It's
what's the city?
exciting.
Winston-Salem. In
I've heard a
downtown.
little bit, but not much. I'm not in that market, so
Supposedly there's Raleigh and other places have the same thing downtown. Is that right?
yeah. So a lot of these communities either have their own amphitheater or set up down there, or they bring in stages and do shows 2 to 3 weeknights a month or weekend nights a month. So
I
a
think
lot
they're
of
trying-
towns, a lot of towns close off their downtown district and just put a stage at one end and do a big event.
Yeah, but this looks like, from what I saw in the picture, whatever, it looks like it was a city block they were doing right next to a church and some other things, kind of the downtown type
We
thing.
got a big new one that opened up in Charlotte this year. They did a soft opening last year, but they're doing 80 nights down there in the Ballantyne area, and it seats about 6,000, 7,000 people. So it's all grass seating, but I know the guy that's doing that one, and so there's a lot of work there. But yeah, I'm not in with the big boys yet, but I play around with, work. But the clients that I work with, I basically start Labor Day weekend and run through the first of the year.
So you get your summer fishing done before you guys to go to work, huh?
Yeah, I'm not much of a fisherman, but yeah, August was tough this year and late July. So
Well, Jan disappeared.
yep. He may have a seller at the door or buyer at the door.
He went to get the filter.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
well.
about time for me to crawl up on a ladder and change my
Yep.
filters again.
Yep.
Thanks for the reminder, Jan.
I didn't think you guys would notice I would be going if I took a quick pee break, but no. You had to point it out. Thanks a lot. Boy,
Problem
is
is
my
you didn't-
face red. Woo.
Yeah.
Problem is you didn't mute your mic.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. There's a funny thing with Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen. By the way, has anybody seen the new Naked Gun
Sure.
with Liam Neeson?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think I like the original better, but it was pretty good.
Yeah,
You can't top the original.
No, it's I mean, hey, Leslie Nielsen, funny guy. I could say that there was a period of time that we were friends when he was, just before he started doing the Naked Gun stuff. But he's a funny guy, funny guy.
Well,
I liked him a lot.
the story is that he didn't want to do any of those movies because he felt he was a serious actor.
Mhm.
Then something happened, whether it was the money or his career or something, and he did them, and then he had a whole new career because of that.
Yeah.
Hey, don't call me Shirley.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, Jan, have a safe flight.
Thank you
And,
very much. I will tell the pilot you said that.
And I hope you're flying business class. So
We are flying business class. That's right.
there you go.
Hey, I've got a wife that doesn't expect anything. No, actually, she couldn't care less if she doesn't care how we fly. But I want to do it from the goodness of my heart to make it easier for her because it's a long flight.
Right.
And if we could do it, we could do it. What the hell?
So if you're flying Korea there, then the Incheon business class lounge is really nice. So
Yeah, not as nice as the first class lounge, but they've kicked me out
yeah,
of that a
that's
few
true.
times, saying, "Hey, you don't have a first class ticket. How'd you get in here in the first place?" You know,
Yeah.
being
You could
working
just
doing
say
so many
it was my
shows, I know the
filter.
back way in through the kitchen. That's it.
It was my ticket got sucked up with my air filter.
Yeah, that's it. The air filter. Oh my God, I got to go get an air filter now.
All right.
That's it.
Oh,
Well,
Y'all
we
listen,
got
take
guys,
care.
we'll see
See you,
you
Greg.
next week from Hua Hin, Thailand,
All
and
right.
you'll notice a different background. So thanks everybody for watching. Remember, you make it happen. Click the like button. Everything you heard today is an opinion, so do your own research. And remember to share the show. And thanks. Oh, stick around till the very end, and then you'll be amazed at what happens. I love. Oh man, what a bunch of suckers that stick around till the very end.
So this is one of my favorite times of the year, and that I'm on the TV over here. I have the Little League World Series on. So very exciting game this afternoon. South Dakota and South Carolina went into extra innings, and right now South Dakota is still at bat and leading 5-1
Well,
in
to
the
quote
top of
W.C.
the seventh
Fields,
inning.
when he was asked what he was watching, Beanbag. Beanbag. That's very exciting. I saw the championship played in Paris. Many people were killed.